Alright, we'll start off by removing the tub. Removing the tub is fairly easy. All you have to do is grab this panel right here, pull it up. Grab this other panel, pull it up. And now we're going to remove the bolts. To remove the bolts, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Don't forget to disconnect your light / switch. There are a couple of clips. There's one here, 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 and same thing over here. These two of mine are broken from previous things that I've done. I got some ordered. They should be coming soon, but that's all it takes to remove the tub. So now we just open it up. Let's go. Probably broke another one. And the tub is out. Alright, the next steps are going to move to remove the bumper. Right under here, there's 3 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts up here. There's a clip here, clip here, clip all the way down on left and right side, going across. There is a bolt down here, and you have to remove these 3 clips right here. Same thing on the other side, of course. And on the bottom, you're going to have all of these little clips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clips in the bottom. Clips I'm going to remove with a flat tip. Alright, I raised the car up so I can get some space. And now I'm going to remove the lower clips. It's not even the correct one. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is undo these bolts down here. There's 5 of them, 1 in the middle and 4 in the front. And that's to allow me some room to move this around later on. So it seems like that one is not playing nice. That's not stripped, but this was spinning, so I'll figure out how to make sure it doesn't do that again later. Alright. Alright, the next step is going to be the corner bolts. So like I mentioned, there's going to be one down here, and see if we can see it. Right there, and there's going to be one, 3 in the top. So it will be those three right there, if you can see them. Alright, so those three facing up need to come out, and the one at the bottom. Alright, so for the top ones, to make it easy, I'm going to use an extension. Take those three out. And then the bottom one, because of room, I'm going to do by hand. Okay, use the actual socket as a better way to hold it. Okay. And the nuts out. Now repeat on the other side. And that's the other side. Alright, the next step is going to be to disconnect the wiring from the front bumper. It is only one connection, on my car anyways. It's this plug right here. Alright, so you have to pull this white clip back, and once the white clip has been pulled back, you can disconnect it. Okay, just like so. So what I did is that I used a flat tip and I slid this back. Once I slid this back, I press right here and pull out, and it's disconnected from the body harness. I like doing that because if not, you remove the bumper and then you have to try to unplug that. Well, the bumper is off and you can scratch your bumper, so I'd rather not scratch the bumper. Alright, the next steps are going to be to pry here, down here, 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 and here, and then you should be able to pull the bumper straight out. These right here, how I do them is that I pull up and then out, but this has to be loosened first because the clip is on the top side. Sometimes if the clip doesn't let go, you can push down carefully with a flat tip and it will get undone. Okay, as mentioned before, this harness goes through the entire bumper assembly. That's why you want to disconnect it first. Alright, moving along. Alright, the next step is the reason that we have to remove the bumper. It's removing the fan shroud. The fan shroud has clips in the bottom, which are these right here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Alright, and it has that one right there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the top as well, and then this one right here. Now let's break it loose. Alright, so for the top, I like to grab right here, and then I use a twisting motion at the bottom, and then lift, they come loose. Start from the other end, the same thing. Twist. Now the top is loose. Alright, and for the two sides, you gotta press them in, and then they come up just like that. Now the whole top section is loose. Alright, so this is an active aero fan shroud, and you see right here it's got this little clip just like the side one. You have to push that up, press and disconnect that connector. Maybe you can see, maybe not. And it's disconnected. Alright, for the bottom, just like the top, you will be using a flat tip. And you're going to do that twisting motion I mentioned earlier. Alright, while prying up. It's a little bit harder because it's got a lot of crud in there. There we go. You can already see all the dirt starting to come out of it. There we go. Oh, yeah, very clean. But you just pry that out and release it. You can see some of that stuff in there. Alright, so now we need to remove this fan shroud. So the easiest way to do it is to remove all of these supports on the left and the right, so it just slides right out, because it catches right here in the corners, both corners, as you can see, because you have to go up and you see how it's stuck there and over here. And then you got to be careful because you don't want to scratch your radiator. But it should be able to slide out. So I did on the other one. You see how the gap is really close right there. So it is plastic. It is pliable. So I'm just going to pull it through the front. That's interesting. A reflector. Not from this color. We got the bottom slid out, and now slide up here, and work it down. Be very careful not to damage the radiator. And it is out, so I lift it up and push down to slide it out, and the fan shroud is out. Okay, at a simple glance, you can see how there's like little rocks and stuff in there. Alright, you can see the condition on the top, how it's clogged. Alright, but the main stuff is under here. Alright, so to remove this, all you have to do is pinch here and lift up. Alright, same thing with this one. Pinch here. I'm sorry. Pinch here and lift up, and then freaking pinch here and push this whole assembly towards the driver's side. Alright, let's do this. There we go. Alright, now we gotta slide it over. Now the hoses, both of them, are going to be on your way. So you got to be very careful not to damage anything. And it's loose. Alright, you can see now this assembly is loose. I need to get it out of the way. To get it out of the way, I need to remove this bar, undo the clips on both sides so that I can slide this part out of the way. Alright, so like I said, this bar needs to be moved out of the way. And it is hooked up to the radiator, I mean the condenser. You slide it back. And then flip it like so. And that should give you the room needed. Alright. Now, main thing is going to be, there's some clips on the body. You can just pry them off. Let me grab some. Alright. Pry that one off, and then there's another one down here. There we go. Alright, so now that coolant line is free, I'm going to bring it over just like so. And I can lift up this right here. Alright. And now we get to see all the dirt. Alright, so this one isn't as bad as my other one was. But as you can see, even if you use a vacuum, you're not going to get that stuff out of there. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to use a soft brush and remove all of that out of the way. And then I'm going to pressure wash it to get the little rocks out of there. So this is the brush I'm going to be using. I'm doing it from the top and just start working my way down. So I'm going in an up and down motion because I don't want to go sideways, so I don't damage any of the fins. So you can see that there's a lot of crud and buildup. So a lot of the stuff is coming out, but a lot of this is really stuck, like such. Alright, you can see some of this stuff is just not coming out. So that's why I'm going to use the pressure washer, because the water is going to loosen up most of that. And I should be able to get it out and clean that up as well. Alright, so this is the initial dirt pile. You can see there was like stickers, cigarette butts, I don't know how, but a toothpick cleaner thing, even a reflector from like another car maybe, and all the leaves and crud they got in there. You could say it's about halfway clean because obviously all the crud remains, so that's what I'm going to be doing next. All right, and this is going to help your AC work way better. Okay, so I undid the other clip from down there, and I moved the hose over in the top. I moved the radiator up, and I zip tied it to this little corner so it can stay up there, so I can pressure wash this lower area. So that'll be my next step, and then finish removing some of this other stuff that's in here and get it all cleaned up. Alright, the pressure washer shenanigans begins. Alright, so like a quick glance, you can see all the crust from that it was there versus now it's a lot cleaner. Alright, so before anybody says anything, some of these fins are already bent. Alright, these are not because of the pressure washer. You can probably back up the video and see. Alright, and I'll probably try to straighten them out, but that's not enough to cause any issues other than all that crud. Like, this is built up. It had a spot just like that up here. It's gone now, and I'll continue to clean it up until all of that, especially that down there, is worse. It's cleaned up. All right. Alright, just finished the pressure washing. Hopefully you guys can see the difference. Alright, you see that most of the stuff are free of those little pebbles. The top one is completely clean. I mean, there's some stuff that's still jammed in there. I'll probably have to take some time and pick them out, but for the most part, it's fairly clean. I mean, the only other way to get this proper is to literally just replace these parts. Let's be real. But if it's not leaking, clean it. It wasn't too hard. I'm about to start reassembly. So you can see what was coming out. It's basically, you see, I don't know if you can see all this little material right here, but down here on the floor, you can see this is all the crud that was coming out of the radiator. It's like a whole bunch of sand basically. But yeah, this should improve the efficiency of my AC, and also the cooling capacity, because I'm pretty sure that this thing was at least anywhere between 50 to 60% clogged. And I don't know if you can see through it, but I can see through it. Before I couldn't. Like, let me see. Like, I can see the label, but I don't know if the camera can appreciate the label through it. But yeah, it definitely cleaned up a lot. And I did it to my other Model 3 back there, and the fan speed is lower than before. There it is back there chilling. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna let this dry up a little bit, and I'm probably, just because I see rust on some of these grounds, I'm gonna take them out, clean them, lube them, and put them back. It's preventive. But yeah, and same thing with all the nuts and bolts. They look a little bit rusty. I'm going to use some anti-seize on those and put them back, because some of them were not coming out easy during reassembly. And let's move on. I'm also going to clean the other parts before assembly because they are dirty. Alright, so now we continue. Basically, reverse process. I lift up the radiator and slide the hoses carefully behind the condenser. Alright, one slide. Now you gotta slide the left side in first, or the right side if you're sitting in the car, back into these grooves. It's easier to go back in than it was to take out. And there, split back into place. You're gonna slide this bar back onto the condenser top mounting points. And before bolting it down, just in case you need to move stuff, slide back the clips. Alright, clips are back, and two top bolts. And that's that. Alright, because most of the connections are wet right now, what I like to do is I like to blow them out. Prevent any corrosion. And just as a preventive measure, I also have a electrical connection cleaner. Let's spray that in there. And continue with assembly. Like I mentioned before, make sure you lift up. Slide it in side by side. Carefully not to damage or scratch your rig. damage. Looking good. All the top clips are in. And everything's lined up. Now we can lock it in. And like mentioned, everything is back in its place. Everything is locked in. Same thing with the bottom and all the lower clips. I did remove these. They literally just go down and lock in. To remove, you just go up. I did take them out earlier because I didn't want a chance of breaking them. Should have mentioned that. Just like that. Alright, so now getting ready to install the bumper. I reinstalled these two bolts right here. Alright. The reason I took them out in the beginning because this whole thing comes loose and it doesn't apply pressure for the bumper. That way you can just pull it out without forcing and possibly breaking this. Alright, so I put these two bolts now back in, and then the last one's going to go through here and the actual bumper right through here. These are the other two, and these are the clips. So by removing all three, you take the pressure off of these so this doesn't break. Alright, and now at the end I'm going to put the last bolt in, and that will hold everything together. But for now, the bracket is reinstalled. Well, it was still there because it's got two clips, but I put the two nuts back in there, and now when I push it in, it will lock in place the bumper, and then all I have to do is put the last bolt that holds everything together in place. Did the same thing on the other side. I plugged in the fan shroud freaking vent opener connection. I also took these two out, cleaned them, got some of the rust off of it, and then spraying with connection cleaner. And at the end I put some same thing with these two over here, put some lithium grease on there, well, lithium spray, to prevent it from future rusting. I don't know what those all go to and what they are for, but they were rusty, and I'd rather, since it's an electric car, have good connection, so whatever those were. Alright, so like I said, same thing on this side. Did the same thing, put the two bolts in and whatnot, and reinstall the connector back to its position right there. And then when I plug it in, I just gotta lock the tab. So next step is going to be to install the bumper now that everything is preset. Just like the other bolts, I'm going to put some anti-seize on them because they did look questionable. Some of them were hard coming out. Alright, so these are the lower clips. Alright, the stock ones. I get this little push pin that goes into it, and I had to get 3 aftermarket. I keep clips on hand, but I make sure that these actually clip in there and they can come out the size of the hole and whatnot. Alright, and after recounting, it's actually 10. It was missing one, and 2 of them were the wrong one. That's why they were not grabbing properly. So to install this piece, you have to install this lip right inside here. Alright, as you can see right there. It's hard to do with one hand, so I'm gonna put the camera down and I'm gonna record doing that. But before you do all that, you need to make sure that the bolts, well, yeah, the studs go through the bumper so you can put the nut later from the back. I'll start in the middle first and work your way out, because the middle is longer than the other ones. Alright, once everything is lined up, you can start installing your push pins. So when you do these, you make sure that you got it all the way. See, that wasn't in all the way. So some of these I'm gonna have to play with to get down far enough. Maybe I need to use a different set of clips. These are the original ones. That's holding. Some of these, as I can tell, are going to be a pain. That's because they had the wrong clip before and they're not holding properly. So I'm bending the bumper in order to get that closer so they can grab. Right. When I originally tested these, they were holding, but now that the bumper's on the way, I need to get some longer ones. So these are a little bit shorter, so I got more and I will confirm which ones fits best. Well, I guess we have to go to the Honda clips, which is what I mainly work on. These are just for non-Honda cars. Before I grab those, there's this other ones I missed. These ones look bigger. Yes. And we have a winner. Alright, so the lower valence is installed. These are the stock Tesla ones. I like to point them forward, so whenever I need to take them off again, it's easier to try to go for the side and whatnot. I try to keep them more forward. I was able to get them all in, and these are the non-Tesla ones, and they're holding as they should. They're the right diameter and length. Alright, and now we're moving over to the feather wells. Alright, just like before, I'm gonna put some of this anti-seize on here. You can see how it's rusty. And the nut at the bottom, same thing, I'll put some anti-seize in there. The socket, it's a driver, put it down. Alright, it's tight. Just like the front ones, I like to leave the spot I can put the screwdriver in facing out. This area right here is hard, so same thing, facing in so I can go from the back. But there it is. Now onto the other side. Alright, a quick note, just in case the lower ones have a thicker washer. Alright, be mindful of that when installing. And that's the bottom. All the bolts are back in. This is the one was giving me issues. It was out of its spot, so I readjusted the clip, and now it's good to go, and everything is installed. Alright, reinstallation of the tub. Like I mentioned before, there's some clips that you gotta go into. So there's that one, this one, and this one. Alright, and then on this side is this one is broken, and this one's broken. Like I said, I have ordered them, they're not in yet, so whenever I just take it off, reinstall them, and be done with it. So now we're going to go to installation of the tub, which is real simple. So line up the two mirror points first on the shocks, bring it down, grab your wire, pull it out, and slide it forward and drop into place. Alright, now we got a clip. Now the bolts. Reconnect your switch, and this will slide downward. Just gonna line it up, so your wire's not touching anything important, and then lock it down. Out a bit. Cover. And that is it. Job done. Well guys, as with everything, Sometimes you forget something, and I forgot to plug in the daggone harness to the bumper. So went inside the car, turned it on, and noticed that I couldn't see the temperature. I was like, I forgot to connect the connection. So just plug it in. It only goes in one way. And click, just like that. It happens. Not an easy fix. Okay. Now we get to test again. Make sure the repair was correct.